Crafters. In tonight's video, we're going to be making an Easter card using the Faith Collection Photopolymer stamp set and dies, and we'll be making our own DIY stained glass designer series paper. Hi, I'm Joan and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I created this video for Joan Simple Paper Crafts, found right here on YouTube. If you're new here, I want to thank you for stopping by. And if you're a returning guest, welcome back. Be sure to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below. That way you won't miss when I post a video, which is typically once a week. Now give me a few seconds to turn the camera down and we'll get started. Here's that card we're going to be making tonight, and we use the Faith Collection Photopolymer stamp set along with the Faith Collection dies, and this is the die we're going to use tonight. Just the cross. Then we use this stamp, this one, and this one. And then for stylish shape dies, we're going to use this largest banner and then the second largest circle. I can get it off from there. There we go. And so on the outside it says He is risen, and on the inside we have God is love. I'm just going to stick it up here for some inspiration. So we're going to die cut the cross first. We're going to use our mini cut and emboss machine. And we're going to use this pattern here. We're going to use the number 1 plate, that's this one here, and then the 2 number 2 plates. This is a number 2, but it's been well loved, well used, so you don't see a 2 on there anymore. And here's another number 2. And I'm just going to put this on here. I'm not going to put any tape because there's plenty of room. If it shifts a little bit, we should be good. And this is the second number 2 again. And then we're going to bring this right back. Here's our cross. I'm going to set that up there. I'm going to bring it right back in, and we're going to die cut our circle. And we're going to be using a piece of that's about 3 inches or 7.6 centimeters long. These are basically scrap pieces, so you want a piece that's 3 inches by 3 inches. Again, I'm not worried about that, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out without taping it down today. There's that one, and then one more to cut out, and that is our banner, and we can cut that right out of here. I should have put it right on that same cut. Sorry about that. And here's the banner right here. All right, we got that done. And we are done with this, I believe, so I'm going to put that away. And we'll just tuck these up here in case we need to recut something out. Then next we need to do is our stamping. So let me get our stamp pad. And we're going to do our sentiment on this circle here. And that's going to be the cross. So this is it here. And I'm going to put a piece of paper underneath that because I don't want it to get on this. All right. And we're going to use our old olive for that. I should use that stamp holder that comes with this glass mat. It comes with a rag to wipe up and a rubber stamp that holds. Let me show you. You can put your stamp pads here and they won't bounce around. And then these, you can use the little individual stamp pads there, or you can use those as wells to put inks in and water. And then this is the rag that comes with it. And that helps clean everything up. So I'm going to go ahead and get this on here. And I want it to be in the center somewhat. And it is going to go off on the top and on the bottom. But I think we got it lined up pretty good. Yeah, that looks good. And then we'll rinse this in just a second. The next thing I want to do is this here. And I am going to use our Pretty Peacock I used the old olive for this one, but I'm going to try it with the Pretty Peacock. And I believe I'm done with the old olive now, so I'm going to close that up. And this should be He Is Risen. And I want to have this lined up right in the center there, so I'm going to get my head in here. Sorry about that. And that should be just about right there. That looks good. All right. And I should get this off from here. The reason I'm stamping it on here is to get the excess ink off, so that won't go in our Stampin' Scrub in just a few minutes here. And then our next stamping is this for the inside card. And we're going to use the God is Love. And we're going to use the Pretty Peacock. Again, I had used the old olive, and I really didn't like how that looked. So we're going to try Pretty Peacock. And I'm going to do it about on the 2/3 of the way up. And I'm eyeballing it. And I got some ink there. So let's just flip this over, and we'll try that again. All right, did much better. Oh, I'm still getting it there. It was on my thumb, that's why. We do have to stamp our flower, and that's going to be our Daffodil Delight, and maybe I'll be able to kind of mask it in that area. I'm going to just try and use my sand eraser just to get some of that off from there. That looks good. There's something there. I don't know what that is. Okay. Got stuff going all over the place. And then I'm going to go and stamp this on here. And I'm going to put one down here on the bottom. And I'm going to make sure this is not coming off my finger anymore. Okay. I'm going to stamp that on the bottom here. And then we'll stamp this up here on this part. Okay. Then we're done with this, and we're going to close that up too. These are those reusable rags, like it's an unpaper towel, and I use that to wipe my hands off when I have little boo-boos like this. So I'm just going to flatten this edge here because I had cut it out from the other side, so it kind of has a raised edge. So I'm just going to flatten it so that when I put glue on it, it'll look fine. And we're going to scrub out our ink things first before we go any farther. And we're going to use this Stampin' Scrub. And we're going to use the Stampin' Mist as well. And I'm going to raise this up because I don't want it to get on my cards when I'm misting. And I'm just going to scrub this. And then I see something on here. Oh, this scared me. There was a little piece of fuzz on there, and I thought it came from the ink. So now we're going to take this piece. This was cut at 3 1/4 inches, and that's going to be 8.3 centimeters by 5 inches, and that's going to be 12.7 centimeters. And then we're going to cut it on this piece of Pretty Peacock, and that's cut at 3 3/8 inches by 5 1/8 inches, or 8.6 centimeters by 13 centimeters. And we're going to glue that down here. And I'm going to use my Sweet Petunia. And this is not a Stampin' Up! Product, but I do have our glue in here. And I can't use it in the other two because it's so hard to squeeze. So this is allowing me to go so much easier, saving wear and tear on my hands. And let me get this. And you got to make sure you put it back in here. See the rubber stopper there? That's going to pinch this off so it won't dry out. So I can do as much stamping I want, and it's not going to dry out on us. I'm going to line this up, leaving 1/16 of an inch for a border on all 4 sides. And that's about 1 centimeter, 0.1 centimeter. And I'm just going to use my bone folder to get that done like that. And let me get this out of the way. I don't know if we're going to need that anymore. Next we need is our card base. And this is 5 1/2 inches by 8 1/2 inches. And this is a piece of the basic white thick cardstock, and it's 14 centimeters by 21.6 centimeters. I've got it scored and folded on that, and I'm just going to score it again and fold it. Okay, I want to get a nice tight edge on there, and that's why I do that on both sides. And then I'm just going to put this on the inside of the card. So we'll basically have that part done already. And then you just center that 1/4 of an inch from the top and the bottom, and about a 1/2 inch from right to left. Just center it. I don't know what the measurement is. And I am going to just try and get this little bit of fuzzy off on this edge right here. There we go. And I'm going to use my boning tool again just to make sure I can get that down. There we have that. And next we're going to glue this down. And I should use my mat here, because otherwise we're going to get glue on our work surface and we will not be able to get a clean card. And look how I had problems putting the stamps on there. So I'm going to center that right over that edge there. And that's going to just sit and wait. And these two will sit and wait. So next we need to do is bring in our pieces that look like cut glass. And how I'm going to do this is I just basically, I cut them all at 1 inches. So I want to get enough strips so that it's long enough that I can get the pieces out of there. So I took my scraps. So this was pieces I had in scraps, so they're not all the same length. So if you don't have the scraps, I would at least do 1 inches by 4 inches, and that would be 2.5 centimeters by 10.2 centimeters this way. And this is obviously more than that. So we're going to try and cut this, and I'm going to bring some big shears in because I want to have straight edges and cut them. Oh, you know what I did? I need another piece here. Let me get that for you. Next, we need to bring in our designer series paper that looks like stained glass. The examples I saw online, they were using the Full of Life found in the annual catalog. I'm going to turn this upside down. And they were using these panels here and this panel here. Well, I don't have that, so I'm going to make my own. So you're going to have to be patient. You can see that it's going to be easy to do. So we're going to take a piece of basic white cut at 3 1/4 inches by 5 inches. And that's going to be 8.3 centimeters by 12.7 centimeters. And we're going to divvy this up into 3 sections. So we want to cut a 1 inch strip, and a 1 inch strip, and a 1 inch strip. And our first base is going to be the pinks and the purples. And I'm basically going to take this first piece here, and I'm just going to cut where I want it to stop. And I'm going to use my big scissors because it has the longest blade on there. And I'm going to go right about here. Okay, then we'll glue that down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how we do this all on this first strip. And then the remaining 2 sections, I'm going to speed it up so you won't have to go into great detail on that. Now, how I get my next cut is I use this purple that I had just cut, and we bring that pink piece over the top of it, and we want to duplicate that cut, you know, and it took me a couple tries to get this to work, meaning I tried different ways to do it, and it was not very easy to do. In this next one, I want to kind of give it a little angle there, so I'm going to bring this purple one. I'm not going to go straight across. I'm going to just give it a slight hint of an angle. But we want to have it up enough right about there. This is not a pure science. It's just like whatever I feel here. So I've got a little bit of angle there. Whoop, let me get this better here. There's going to be a little bit of an angle there. Okay. And so that's our next piece. And we do need to make sure that we glue these down, leaving 1/8 of an inch between them. We don't want to be right on top of each other. but we don't want to have it too tight that you don't really see the daylight between them. So that's about 1/8 of an inch there. And then this is our next one. And I see that I kind of cut into that, so I'm just going to trim it. I'm just going to follow that same angle so I get a clean cut. So yeah, that's going to work there. And look at, I have it right there too, but I think we're okay. That might even be underneath the fold of this, depending on where we set it down. And we are done with this one. And so this one, we want to have it be up taller. And let me give you the colors. So this is Gorgeous Grape. This one's Melon Mambo. And then this one is Highland Heather. And the next one is Petunia Pop. That's in our 25, 26 colors. And we want that to be a bigger one. So I'm going to put it right about there. And now the angle is going to be going upward. We'll do that next. And we just want to make sure we're putting this on here along the left edge. And I've got too much space there, so I'm going to pop it up, bring it down just a little bit more. Now it's kind of sticky there. I got to make sure it's going in. That works there. Then our next one's the Petunia Pop. And here we want to, this one had it going all the way up into the corner, but we have not gone quite that far. So we'll go into the Pretty in Pink and we'll finish it up with Pretty in Pink. Okay, so we're going to go right here. And I'm going to just do another angle right about right here. That's going to work there. You know what? I probably don't even need that. I think we're going to be able to do it right with the Fresh Freesia. So we're going to get this one right here. And then the Fresh Freesia is next, right there. And I'm just going to glue that down, and then we'll trim it on the edge. That is way more than what I need. But we're going to make sure we've got it right here. Then we're going to flip it over, and then we can trim this edge off. And I'm just going to get some of that glue off from there, because I don't want to get it onto these scissors. And we're just going to trim this way. So we are done with those shades. So the next shade, I'm going to do it on this side. And I'm going to start at the bottom again, and I'm going to do the same procedure, but I'm not going to keep talking to you. I'm going to speed it up for you. So let me tell you the colors of this one. This is going to be Baja Blue. Then the next color is going to be Balmy Blue. And then the next color is Pool Party. And then the next color is Coastal Cabana. And then the next color is Summer Splash. And our last color is Shy Shamrock. And we're going to just start with the Baja Blue. And then I'm just going to keep on going. I'm not going to stop until we get to this middle section. And these are all 1 inch again. And then however much I go into that. All right, I'm going to get started. All right, so now we're going to take this next section. Let me get this over here. And we're going to take these colors here. So our first color is going to be our Pretty in Peacock. Then we're going to have our Shaded Spruce. Then our Garden Green. And we probably won't even see the Garden Green. It'll probably all be hidden. And then we have our old olive. That's also already hidden. And then we have this piece here, which is our granny apple green. And then the last one is lemon lime twist. So we want to have them all facing with the fold lines downward. I'm going to do this one. I'm going to speed this one up, but we're going to start right down here. And I'm just going to take my trimmer and I'm going to trim this off. I want to start at the bottom. I want it to be square on the bottom. And we're going to make it square, and I'm going to do one side up here. Yes, and then we're going to just center that. So we're making it 1/8 of an inch on either side here. And see, this stuff is all under the circle, so I'm not too worried about this, what shape they are, because you're not going to see those center pieces there. But let's do our next one. It should be this one right here, granny apple green. And let's do it from this end because I want to make sure I got it right here. Yep, that's the right cut. So I'm going to make that cut first. And then we're going to do it at an angle. Oh, wrong one. This one we want to do it at an angle. Right there. And we'll take this one, and it's really going to be whatever's left. I'm going to have to cut this down, or I may need to make another cut. I'm going to need another cut. Yeah, this one, it had got torn. So I didn't want to use that edge. I didn't know if it showed up on the camera or not, but it shows up in person here. And then we can just glue this down. We want to cover that up. And it ends all lined up properly. And I'm going to just take this and cut through that. So next we're going to take this and we're going to put glue on the back side. And then we want to center this, so it's about 1/2 inch from either right and left hand side. And then we're going to make sure there's about 1/4 inch on the top and the bottom. And then I'm just going to take my bone folder and I'm going to go on the inside of the card because I don't want to go across those folded edges there, because that would tear that up, most definitely. Then we can do this and this on here. And we're going to use our large dimensionals. And I'm going to put one right here, one opposite that, one opposite that. Actually, it was a 1/4 turn, and one in the middle. And we'll take our take your pick tool to pull off those backings. Now, you can't even tell that I made that paper by myself, can you? Okay, then you just line it up. So I'm thinking I'm going to drop it right about here. I'm going to line the cross in the center, and then the rest I'm just eyeballing. And then this is going to come down here. And I do like the fact that I use the Pretty Peacock ink instead of the old olive ink for the sentiments. Oh, we don't need to do that. We want to use more dimensional. We can just get by with 2 dimensionals on there. And then we're going to center it right about here. So we'll have the He is Risen centered. And I'm centering it between here and here. So between these 2 spaces right here and here. And then from right to left. I think that looks nice. And you know what? We are done with this card. I just want to remind you, if you don't feel like you want to go through all the hassle of gluing all these pieces onto the card, you can order this designer series paper, make 1-inch strips, and then just cut it down to size so you'd only have to glue 3 strips instead of all the individual pieces. Now, did you have as much fun as I did? Why don't you give it a try? If you enjoyed today's video, would you do me 2 favors? Click the thumbs up emoji, which means you like it, and would you share it on social media with your crafting friends and pin it to Pinterest? These actions will help me to keep sharing my ideas with other crafters for free, and I'd really appreciate that. Be sure to hit the subscribe button below so you won't miss any future videos. If you have any questions, be sure to contact me. I'm here to help in any way that I can. And if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. Just reach out to me. If you'd like to place a Stampin' Up! Order or would like a catalog, hop over to my website where you'll find the Shop Now button. To shop with me, you need to go to joanheberlein.stampinup.net. Now, I won't be back next Sunday because I have to get prepared for taxes, and I have to do my Valentine's cards for my nieces and nephews. So I won't be back until 2 weeks, February 16th at 7 p.m. Central Time. And we'll be doing something from the new mini catalog, and it'll be the Delightful Wishes. I hope you'll be here to join me. Thanks so much for being here with me tonight. I look forward to next time. Bye for now, and don't forget to subscribe.